The polio epidemics of the 50s, the early 50s, caused widespread panic, much like earlier epidemics in history. With 58,000 cases reported in the USA in 1952, by the mid-20th century, polio was perhaps the most feared of all diseases, causing over 3,000 deaths and permanently paralyzing over 21,000 victims, and 2/3 of the victims were under the age of 15. Newspapers spread alarm when cases were reported in a locality, as these clippings illustrate. Public health authorities placed warnings and advertisements in children's comics to try and alert their young readers to the dangers of the disease. It was to cater for the inrush of polio patients that hospitals first developed intensive care units. Medical fundraising, initially for iron lung machines, became an accepted part of healthcare, and that rehabilitation therapy became a normal part of hospital treatment. All of this dates from the early 50s and the polio epidemics at the time. The scale of these epidemics, as I've said, was very considerable, suggested by this photo of an iron lung ward in an American hospital in the early 50s. It's been calculated that in 1977, there was over 250,000 people in the USA alone living with partial paralysis caused by polio, 40,000 in Germany, 30,000 in France, 12,000 in the UK, and at least 10 million worldwide. It's these victims who effectively launched the modern disability rights campaign. The search for a cure still goes on. It's in the field of prevention that medicine celebrated its real triumph with the development of effective vaccines, first by Jonas Salk at the University of Pittsburgh in 1954, and then by another American researcher, Albert Sabin, in the following year. Mass immunization programs were put into effect, led by the World Health Organization. By the late 1990s, fewer than 4,000 new cases of polio were being reported worldwide each year. In 2011, it's only a few score, and all countries apart from Nigeria, Chad, Afghanistan, and Pakistan were certified polio-free. So polio is on the way to being the third disease after smallpox and the cattle plague or rinderpest to being completely eradicated. And as the vaccine began to produce a dramatic decline of the disease in the 60s and 70s, it seemed yet another chapter in the inexorable onward march of modern medicine.